At the freshman class dinner, the student on financial aid suggested an all-you-can-eat crayfish place for 9 yuan. Worried about hygiene, I declined and instead invited everyone to my family's restaurant. After the meal, when I shared the group payment QR code, the financially struggling student led the charge in berating me. You crooked, heartless businessman. Even with a 50% discount, it's still 99 yuan. Why not just rob us? And we're your classmates. How dare you take advantage of us? Have you no shame? I'm only paying 9 yuan. Take it or leave it. Frankly, even that amount probably turns you a profit. Then she took to the internet, smearing our restaurant with posts claiming the ingredients were stale and caused diarrhea. The rest of the class followed suit, paying only 9 yuan and joining in the group chat to attack and insult me. Furious, I confronted her, but she shoved me down the stairs, and I fell to my death. Within days, our restaurant shut down due to the rumors, and my parents, crushed by the double blow, passed away from despair. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day the class dinner was being organized. This time, I was the first to stand up and support the student on financial aid. In this life, I'm going to show everyone that a 9 yuan all-you-can-eat buffet can literally kill you. I know a place perfect for our class dinner. Just 9 yuan for unlimited food. Unlike the big fish buffet, which charges 199 yuan per person. What a rip-off, Sharon Xia, a student on financial aid, exclaimed excitedly. Looking around the familiar classroom, I saw welcome, college freshman, written on the blackboard. That's when I realized I had been reborn. I had returned to the day of our freshman class dinner in my past life, when Sharon Xia suggested the 9 yuan all-you-can-eat crayfish. I was the first to object. Since my family also runs a buffet restaurant, I knew cheap deals meant poor quality. At 9 yuan, they couldn't even cover costs. The ingredients had to be stale. So I strongly opposed it and invited everyone to my family's buffet instead, convincing my dad to give everyone a 50% discount. After the class dinner, to my surprise, Sharon Xia took the lead in slandering my family as crooked businessmen in the group chat, and the entire class followed with all sorts of insults directed at me. Not only that, she also posted defamatory content online targeting our family restaurant, causing our business to plummet. When I went to confront her, she sneered triumphantly and said, "Stella Sue, don't think your family's money makes you special. I can't stand show-offs like you. What's wrong with a 9 yuan buffet? Is your stomach made of gold or something? Would it kill you to eat it? Do you know 99 yuan is my weekly living expense? Asking me to pay that much for one meal. Were you deliberately trying to embarrass me? Truth is, I know your restaurant uses fresh ingredients, and the 199 yuan price is fair. Even with a 50% discount, 99 yuan is barely cost price. I just can't stand you. So I spread rumors on purpose. What are you going to do about it?" Hearing this, I trembled with rage, rushed forward, grabbed her by the collar, and demanded she clear my name in the group. But she shoved me down the stairs. My head hit the ground hard, and I died on the spot. After suffering the double blow, my parents wept day and night, eventually passing away from sorrow. "Stella, I heard the big fish buffet is your family's business. I just want to ask, with a price of 199 yuan per person, does your profit margin exceed 95%? How heartless can you be?" Sharon Xia suddenly raised her voice and directed a sharp question at me. In an instant, all the classmates turned their eyes toward me. After snapping back to reality, I curled my lip and deliberately boasted, "The profits are certainly substantial, but not as exaggerated as you claim." Hearing my reply, Sharon fumed and rolled her eyes, saying, "See, I told you they're crooked businessmen, exploiting us ordinary folks. The bigger the restaurant, the more rot in their hearts. But no one's money grows on trees. It's better to go to the place I recommend. Just 9 yuan for unlimited crayfish. Now, that's a bargain. Being publicly called a crooked businessman, no one could tolerate that. In my past life, I had fired back at her until she was left speechless. But in this lifetime, I'm determined not to let them eat at my family's restaurant. I'm actually curious to see what a 9 yuan all you can eat buffet looks like. Just when everyone thought I would stand up and argue, I gave Sharon Xia a faint smile and instead agreed. I think the place Sharon recommended is quite good, cheap and filling. We're all students, so affordability is what matters most. Hearing this, Sharon was taken aback at first, then lifted her chin and sneered. Well, the crooked businessman has finally seen the light after my scolding. It seems Stella Sue has some awareness after all. At that moment, Sherry Shun, the class prom queen standing nearby, tugged at my sleeve and whispered, Stella, your family's Big Fish Buffet is pretty famous. A big brand is always trustworthy. Could you give us a discount and take us there? Before I could even open my mouth to refuse, Sharon jumped up in a panic. She marched over to Sherry and scolded her loudly. Sherry Shun, didn't you hear what I just said? I told you they're crooked businessmen deliberately scamming us. It's not worth the price. Why are you still shamelessly insisting on going? You look quite pretty. So, how come your head is empty? Can't you understand plain language? Sherry Shun's face flushed crimson, her expression full of grievance as she said, I just don't want to go to that 9 yuan buffet. I'm afraid I'll get diarrhea. Watching Sharon Xia clench her fist, ready to burst out shouting, I quickly stepped in to cut her off, persuading Sherry Shun. Our family's buffet never offers discounts, not even for classmates. The 199 yuan price is indeed a bit steep for students. Most of our patrons are business professionals. Right now is the perfect season for crayfish. And I think Sharon Xia's recommendation is just right. Crayfish with beer. That's the youth university students should experience. I think everyone shouldn't be so resistant. Since Sharon Xia strongly recommends it, let's just go try it. If the ingredients don't look fresh, we can simply not eat and post about it online to warn others. Seeing that I said no to a discount, the classmates also chimed in agreement. 199 yuan per person is indeed a bit expensive. I still have so many things to buy at the start of the semester, and everything costs money. Why not just go for the 9 yuan crayfish? That's how you get the summer vibe, isn't it? Exactly. 9 yuan is a no risk, no regret deal. After most people agreed, class president Aaron Yang made the decision on the spot. All right, since everyone agrees on the 9 yuan crayfish, let's pack up and get ready to go. Follow the location Sharon Xia sent and take your own rides there. At that moment, a sly, triumphant smile flickered across Sharon Xia's face. Suddenly, a question popped into my mind. Why was Sharon Xia so eager to recommend this particular crayfish place? In my past life, I never figured it out, even till my dying day. All I did was not eat at her recommended spot. Why did she harbor such intense hatred toward me? Could this restaurant have some kind of financial tie to her? As I thought this, I quickly messaged my gossip, loving bestie Jenny Yang, asking her to help me thoroughly investigate the connections. 7:00 p.m., all 50 classmates had finally arrived. Sherry Shin stepped out of the car, clutching her bag, with a look of disdain, then complained with a dark expression. What kind of dump is this? It took 40 minutes by taxi and cost me $30. Isn't that just driving up my expenses? But Sharon Xia greeted everyone with a cheerful, almost proprietor-like smile and said, Oh, it's a farm, two-table restaurant. So naturally it's in a more affordable location. Look around, it's all rice patties. The owner raises these crayfish himself. They're super fresh. As she spoke, she pointed toward 5 large baskets of lively crayfish by the entrance. Seeing the crayfish so active, everyone felt a wave of relief. Then they all began to praise. Sharon's recommendation is really great. It might be a bit remote, but it's close to nature and full of rustic charm. Exactly. Look how fresh these crayfish are. We're in for a real treat, getting such fresh all. You can eat crayfish for just 9 yuan is really a steal. Watching Sharon Xia skillfully explain everything, I had a rough guess in my mind. So I tentatively asked, Sharon, you seem especially familiar with this place. Are you really here for the first time? Seeing my doubt, A flicker of panic flashed in Sharon Xia's eyes, but then she calmly explained, "Of course, I just did a lot of research online beforehand, so I'm very familiar with this place." The owner quickly chimed in from the side. Yes, I'm also meeting this student for the first time. I should thank her for bringing you all here to eat. How about this? Since so many of you have graced us with your presence today, besides the crayfish, I'll treat you to some complimentary cold dishes." Gasqua, who weighed 180 Jean, patted his stomach and asked, "Boss, are the alcoholic drinks and beverages also free here?" Before the owner could reply, Sharon Xia immediately blurted out, "How could that be? They go broke in no time." Realizing she had responded a bit too naturally, Sharon Xia quickly changed the subject. "Everyone, hurry and get your food before the crayfish gets cold." Seeing Sharon Xia's somewhat similar expression to the boss's, it only strengthened my suspicion. Sharon Xia and the boss must be related. Sure enough, Jenny Yang sent me a message at that moment. Xin, the owner of this shop is Walter Wang. He used to help others farm crayfish in the village and suddenly opened this shop this year. Strangely, there's no negative information about it online. Then she shifted her tone and continued, "But who am I? Your bestie? I spent a little money to ask around the villagers. This Walter Wang has a daughter studying at your university, even in the same major as you. You probably know her." "Ah, so Sharon Xia is Walter Wang's daughter. It's just that she uses her mother's surname. Now, I completely understand. Why? In my past life, she held such a deep grudge against me just because I refused to eat at the shop. But at 9 yuan per person, these crayfish couldn't possibly turn a profit. Why did Sharon Xia insist we come here to eat?" Thinking this, I carried my tray toward the dining area. With just one glance, I could tell these seemingly appetizing crayfish were all dead shrimp and had been for quite some time. After all, my family has been in the restaurant business since I was young. I've seen enough to naturally discern ingredient freshness. It's just that the spicy and numbing flavors used excessive seasoning, masking the food's original taste. Most people wouldn't notice. Watching everyone gulp down ice, cold beverages, while eating the spicy food, I finally understood. The owner was actually making money from the drinks. The 9 yuan crayfish were just a gimmick. Seeing me return to the table with an empty plate, Sharon Xia asked with a puzzled look, "Stella Sue, why aren't you eating? Does it not suit your taste?" I replied with a dejected expression, "Ugh, so annoying. My mom just called and said she scheduled a gastroscopy for me tomorrow morning and told me not to eat anything tonight." After saying that, I pretended to be angry and slammed my phone on the table. Sharon Xia glanced at me, half convinced and half skeptical, and said, "Miss Sue, you're not looking down on this little place and making up an excuse to avoid eating, are you?" I got flustered and snapped angrily. "What nonsense are you talking? I love crayfish the most. Otherwise, I wouldn't have recommended this place to everyone." To convince her, I picked up my phone, put it on speaker, and called my mom in a huff. "Mom, cancel my gastroscopy appointment for tomorrow morning. I really want to eat crayfish tonight, and I'm going to eat them." On the other end of the line, my mom said sternly, Xian, don't be willful. Your stomach has always been weak, and you must go for the check up tomorrow morning. If you don't listen to me and eat tonight, affecting tomorrow's examination, I won't give you your allowance for this month." After saying that, she hung up. I was so upset, I started crying and said tearfully, "See, ever since I was little, my mom has always threatened me with my allowance like this." Sharon Xia then comforted me, saying, All right, I was just joking with you. If you don't want to eat it, that's fine. Your health comes first." I pretended to look enviously at my classmates indulging freely in their meal, but in my heart, I was closely observing every move Sharon Xia made. These crayfish had been dead for days. There's no way Sharon didn't know. Soon, I noticed something fishy. Turns out, every time Sharon went to get crayfish, she only took the garlic, flavored ones from the corner. I immediately understood what was going on. The garlic, flavored crayfish were prepared very lightly, with even salt used sparingly. making them unappetizing to many at first glance. But these crayfish were all fresh, which is why she dared to eat them. Suddenly, there was an oops sound. A plate of crayfish Gus was holding accidentally fell to the ground. The shop owner frowned with displeasure and said regretfully, "What a shame, such a waste of good food." But Gus was displeased, raising his voice to question, "Isn't this all? You can eat. The crawfish that fell on the floor counts as eaten by me. How is it wasted?" Sharon Xia hurried out to explain. "The boss didn't mean it that way. He's an honest man who's not good with words. He just hates to see food go to waste." After speaking, she subtly tugged the boss's sleeve and led him toward the back kitchen. I pretended to need the restroom and quietly followed them, only to hear the boss scold her. "You silly girl. How can that chubby friend of yours eat so much?" I counted. He's already had 12 plates. If he keeps going, I'll be ruined. Sharon Xia made a shushing gesture with her hand and reasoned, "Dad, these are all dead shrimp. If we don't serve them, they'll just rot and end up flushed down the toilet. Why fuss over them?" The boss patted her head firmly, relieved. "You're right. These shrimp died 3 days ago. If you hadn't brought your friends today, they'd probably have been thrown out anyway. At least my investment in your college education wasn't wasted. You came up with this clever trick to handle the spoiled shrimp. Educated people really are smarter. Just from this round of drinks, we'll probably make 2,000 or 3,000. You should bring them here to spend more often." After saying this, he smugly began filling empty bottles with colored liquid. I quickly captured the scene on camera. Then I returned to the table pretending to know nothing. I watched helplessly as he restocked the fridge with case after case of beverages. From my observation, besides Sharon Xia, who only ate the garlic flavored crayfish, class president Aaron Yang also only ate the garlic flavor, claiming he couldn't handle spice. Just as he picked up a glass of iced cola to drink, I quickly stopped him. "Your stomach isn't great. Better not drink anything icy." I then took a bottle of mineral water from my bag and handed it to him. The classmates around us immediately teased. "Oh, looks like there's something going on between you two." "Exactly. Stella Sue cares so much about the class president. Could it be you two have taken a liking to each other?" "Oh my stomach isn't feeling well either. How come someone didn't notice that?" Amid everyone's teasing laughter, Aaron Yang quickly blushed. He stammered, "Don't talk nonsense. It's only the start of the semester. Stella and I haven't even spoken much. But who knows what might happen later." Hearing this, Sharon Xia's expression suddenly changed, and she quickly stepped in to defuse the situation. "Exactly. We've all just met. How could anyone develop feelings so quickly?" After saying that, she bashfully peeled a crayfish for Aaron Yang. Well, now I get it. So Sharon Xia has her eyes on the class president. No wonder her hatred for me in my past life also included Aaron Yang treating me a bit differently. In my past life, when Sharon Xia accused me, Aaron Yang was the only one who stood up and spoke in my defense. But back then, to get back at me, Sharon falsely accused the class president of favoritism and forced him to take sides. Left with no choice, Aaron Yang ended up paying the 9 yuan as well, but he later DM'd me and transferred the remaining money back. Looking at it this way, I stopped him from drinking that beverage partly to prevent him from noticing anything unusual, and partly because it helped him dodge a bullet. Soon, everyone finished eating. Just as everyone was about to head back to school, Gus suddenly clutched his stomach and cried out, "Wait for me. I need to use the restroom." Sherry Shin frowned, looking puzzled, and said, "You didn't get an upset stomach from the food, did you? What about the crayfish?" Before she could finish, Sharon Xia quickly explained, "Gus ate a full 20 pounds of crayfish. Even an iron stomach couldn't handle that much. Don't worry, the crayfish were absolutely fine." 10 minutes later, Gus still hadn't returned. Everyone checked their phones. It was already 9 p.m. and hurried back to school. At midnight, the class group chat suddenly received a message from a counselor. Gus was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. He returned to the dorm pale and vomiting nonstop. "What did you all eat at the class dinner today?" Everyone exclaimed in shock. "No way. It's that serious? Damn, I've had diarrhea since I got back too. Seriously? I just came back and already had diarrhea twice, but didn't dare say anything. I thought it was just from eating too much spicy food. My stomach's been churning and cramping like crazy. Oh my god, could it really be because of the crayfish? Instantly, the group chat exploded. Sherry Shun immediately tagged Sharon Xia in the group and demanded, at Sharon Xia, shouldn't you come out and explain? Why are you playing dead now? No wonder my stomach's been upset since I got back. I thought it was just my period coming. Thank goodness I only ate a few. If I'd eaten more, I'd probably be in the hospital too, right? Class President Aaron Yang also anxiously chimed in, at Sharon Xia, hurry up and ask the restaurant owner what's going on. But Sharon Xia calmly retorted, Class President, may I ask if you're feeling any discomfort right now? Seconds later, Aaron Yang replied, to be honest, I feel completely fine. Now emboldened, Sharon Xia immediately retorted in the group chat, see, everyone, both the class president and I ate it and we're fine. How can you blame the crayfish? Who knows what other random stuff you all ate? Don't just point fingers at the crayfish without any proof. The poor crayfish are being wrongfully accused. Maybe you should look at your own choices first. Unconvinced, Sherry Shun pressed further. I can't speak for others, but I only had a few crayfish tonight, and my stomach is upset too. How do you explain that? What I don't get is why you're so defensive about simply asking the vendor if the crayfish were fresh or if any questionable ingredients were added. Are you and that vendor in cahoots or something? Furious, Sharon Xia exploded in the group chat, cursing, at Sherry Shun, are you out of your mind? The owner is an honest farmer offering all. You can eat for 9 yuan. How could he possibly be profiting? Why would you slander him like this? If I were really in cahoots with him, I'd pull a Stella Sue and act like a crooked businessman, charging each of you 199 yuan instead. Wouldn't that be a way bigger profit? After saying that, she immediately tagged me, at Stella Sue. Don't you think I'm right? Laughable. Sharon Xia really is as stubborn as a dead duck with its beak still stiff. She won't admit anything unless solid evidence is presented. But now isn't the right time. The fury hasn't reached its peak yet. So I curled my lips and calmly replied, you're absolutely right. But since everyone's feeling unwell, isn't it reasonable to ask you to check with the owner? You're the closest to him in the whole class. Asking won't cost you anything, but causing food poisoning is no small matter. It could even lead to jail time. Seeing that I wasn't defending myself, Sharon Xia got so furious she started bombarding the group chat with voice messages attacking me. Stella Sue, are you fucking insane too? What do you mean poison someone? The hospital hasn't even released any conclusions yet, and you're already spreading rumors without any basis. Aren't you pushing that poor shop owner toward ruin? Do you have any idea how hard that owner has worked? Your baseless accusation of food poisoning could destroy their entire business. How can someone be so malicious? I was momentarily stunned. Why does this sound so familiar? But in my past life, she was the one who deliberately spread rumors to destroy our family's business. This time, I merely questioned her a few times, and she's already lashing out like a rabid dog. It's true. People never feel the pain until the whip strikes their own back. Seeing us arguing endlessly in the group chat, the counselor quickly intervened. All right, that's enough. Let's wait for the hospital's results. The truth will come out then. The group finally quieted down. Soon, I heard the sound of a door opening in the dorm next door. Someone in slippers rushed out in a hurry. Sharon Xia lived in that dorm next door, so I quickly got out of bed and followed her. I happened to run into her, making a phone call in the hallway. Using the dim light, I turned on my phone's video recording function. Let's see how you try to talk your way out of this one. I saw Sharon Xia nervously pull out her phone and ask anxiously, Dad, what's going on? How did my classmates end up in the hospital from eating? Tell me honestly, how long have these crayfish been dead? After hearing the response from the other end, Sharon Xia stumbled, nearly falling to the ground. She said agitatedly, Dad, have you lost your mind? You dare to serve crayfish that have been dead for a week to my classmates? Are you trying to harm people on purpose? I told you, as soon as the crayfish die, immediately put them in the freezer to keep them frozen. That way there wouldn't be much difference in taste. I've been telling you to buy another freezer, but you wouldn't listen. Now that there are too many dead shrimp, you just left them soaking in water. How could you be so careless? I couldn't hear what was said on the other end of the call. After hearing it, Sharon Xia became even more agitated. She yelled with a choked, tearful voice, "Are you insane? You bought the beverage powder from street vendors too? I told you I'd help expand the family business. Why won't you trust me? If anything happens to my classmates, neither of us will get away with it. We might even end up in jail." After saying this, she hung up and crouched on the ground, crying. At 3 a.m., the counselor sent another message. Gus Gua has just passed away. His parents are on their way to the hospital. Any other classmates feeling unwell should come for a check. Up immediately. Hearing the news, my heart clenched violently. After all, someone had died, and I could have prevented this tragedy. But in my past life, Gus Gua had hurled plenty of insults at me in the group chat. He ate enough for 2 or 3 people, and my family couldn't even cover the costs. Yet he joined Sharon Xia in smearing my family online, calling us all crooked, heartless businessmen. After I died, all he did was casually sneer. Oh, the crooked businessman died. Nothing to pity there. With that thought, the last shred of my sympathy vanished. A strange sense of satisfaction washed over me. By the time I snapped back to reality, the group chat was flooded with 99 plus messages. Everyone was wailing and panicking. Oh my God, someone died. What do we do now? It's over. My roommate passed out too. Call an ambulance for me. I can't get up from the toilet. Help. I'm feeling weak all over now too. Realizing it was a mass poisoning incident, the counselor immediately called the principal. That night, ambulances from across the city rushed to our school. One after another, they sped off toward the hospital. What a spectacular scene it was. Seeing the 3 of us standing there unaffected, the counselor urgently urged, "You 3, get in one ambulance and go to the hospital for a check." Up immediately, Sharon Xia resisted, saying, "I'm fine, no need to go to the hospital." With that, she turned to leave toward the dormitory. I grabbed her arm firmly and exclaimed, "Sharon, why are you treating your health so carelessly? The whole class got poisoned. You ate the crayfish too. You can't be immune. Come with us to the hospital for a check." Up now. Trying to run away at a critical moment like this? Not a chance. I've heard Gus Gua's parents aren't people to mess with. He's their only precious son. If they find out it was Sharon's family that poisoned their son to death, they'll tear her apart alive. At that thought, I couldn't contain my glee. I couldn't wait to watch this drama unfold. Sharon clearly knew this too, which was why she stubbornly refused to get into the ambulance. In the end, Aaron Yang and I, under the pretense of caring for her, forcibly carried her onto it. After arriving at the hospital, many of our classmates' parents had rushed over as well. Seeing the 3 of us completely unharmed, Sherry Shen raised her voice and shouted, "Sharon Xia, you jinx, you insisted on taking us to that 9 yuan all. You can eat crayfish place," claiming it was pure and pollution-free, and ended up poisoning the entire class. Gus Gua just ate a few extra plates of crayfish and died from food poisoning. How will you, the murderer, atone for this with your life? As soon as the words fell, a middle-aged couple rushed out from nowhere. Before anyone could react, Sharon Xia was kicked to the ground by the man. Immediately, the woman beside him frantically pinned her down, slapping her face wildly while screaming, "You wretched little bitch. Give me back my son's life. If it weren't for you, this broke ass trash, dragging everyone to that 9 yuan buffet, my son wouldn't have been poisoned to death. You lowly dog, your 10 lives aren't worth one of my sons. I'll kill you to avenge my son." With bloodshot eyes, he fiercely choked her neck. Seeing this, the counselor hurried forward to pull him away, trying to reason. "Mrs. Gua, please calm down. The autopsy results aren't out yet." But the next second, the counselor was shoved aside by Mr. Gua's brute force. He grabbed the counselor by the collar and roared, "My son just started university and died within days. How does your school supervise students? I won't let this go with your school. I'll settle scores with every one of you. None of you will get away. But today, that little bitch Sharon Xia must die. Anyone who tries to stop me will get hit. I advise you not to meddle. Facing this 6 feet 3 inches, 200-pound giant, the counselor knew he was no match and dared not intervene further. He could only watch as Guskwa's parents kicked and punched her relentlessly. The surrounding students were terrified. Not one dared to call the police. Finally, hospital security arrived. It took 5 guards to pull him away. Mr. Gua tried to attack again, but was restrained by arriving officers. Sharon Xia lay on the ground, bruised, swollen, and covered in blood, weakly crying out, "Save me, save me." I couldn't help curling my lips, deliberately flashing her a provocative smile. Sharon Xia quickly caught onto my schadenfreude. After freezing for several seconds, she suddenly seemed to figure something out. She fixed me with the same vicious glare from her past life, as if wishing to tear me limb from limb. "Stella Sue, you're the real murderer. You set this whole trap." Sharon Xia struggled to her feet and suddenly roared at me. All the surrounding classmates immediately turned their eyes toward me. I feigned innocence and said, "What are you talking about? What does this have to do with me? You chose the restaurant. You strongly recommended everyone eat there. How can you blame me now that something's gone wrong?" Aaron Yang also defended me. "Exactly. What does this have to do with Stella Sue? She's never even been to that place. You can't just throw all the blame on her." Sharon Xia trembled with rage, her voice shaking as she said, "It was Stella Sue. She set this whole thing up. Do you all remember? When I suggested eating crayfish, she was the first to agree. And think about it. Why did all of us eat the crayfish except her? She must have known in advance there was a problem, so she deliberately avoided it." I spread my hands helplessly and said, "My mom told me last minute that I have a gastroscopy scheduled tomorrow morning and couldn't eat. What was I supposed to do? Didn't you all hear at the time? The way you talk, it's as if I have some kind of clairvoyance. Like I knew in advance the crayfish were bad and put on this act with my mom just for you." Sharon Xia flushed red with anger, pointing at my nose and yelling, "You bitch. It's like you knew all of this beforehand, just waiting for us to fall into the trap." I laughed in disbelief, slapped her across the face, and snapped, "Sharon Xia, are you suffering from some kind of paranoia? You're frantically pushing all the blame onto me like a madwoman who publicly insulted my whole family as crooked businessmen in class, who stopped everyone from eating at my family's restaurant, who swore up and down that the crayfish at that place were all fresh and there's absolutely no problem. Your foul mouth is like it was fished out of a sewer. I just didn't want to argue with you, so I went along and agreed to eat at that restaurant." At this moment, Sharon Xia burst into hysterical laughter, like she'd gone mad. "I get it now. You've been reborn. You knew all this would happen in advance." As soon as she said this, the onlookers around couldn't help but cover their mouths and snicker. This girl's lost it, like she just escaped from a mental hospital. Does she think she's in a novel or something? Rebirth? What a joke. Seeing that no one believed her, Sharon Xia broke down, grabbing the police officer's hand and screaming hysterically, "Officer, this is all a trap set by Stella Sue. She deliberately led us to eat crayfish to poison the whole class." Of course, the officer didn't believe her nonsense and immediately snapped coldly, "Miss Sharon Xia, please stop spouting nonsense. We will investigate the truth thoroughly." But Sharon persisted, relentlessly hurling insults at me. With things having escalated to this point, it was time to reel in the net. With complete composure, I took a USB drive from my bag and handed it to the police officer. "Sir, the entire truth is recorded here. To avoid alerting anyone, I secretly recorded it as evidence. Now, if we project it, the whole story will become clear." After taking the USB drive, the police immediately projected it onto the large screen at the nurse's station. In the footage, Sharon Xia and the boss, Walter Wong, were whispering in the back kitchen, "These crayfish have been dead for 3 days. But if we fry them repeatedly in oil and add various spices, no one will be able to tell. Mixing this powdered beverage really makes it look authentic. Just from the fake drinks alone, we can make thousands." Your classmates are all as dumb as pigs. I don't know how they even got into university. The next scene cut to the dormitory staircase, where Sharon was frantically making a phone call. Dad, what's going on? My classmates have all been poisoned from eating. Dad, why did you leave the crayfish that died a week ago soaking in water instead of putting them in the fridge? What? The beverage powder was also bought in bulk from a street stall? You're really trying to kill me. In that instant, everyone present widened their eyes in shock. They never expected that the owner of the crayfish stall was actually Sharon Xia's father. This whole thing was a setup by Sharon Xia to make money off everyone. Sharon Xia's family shop is the real shady restaurant, full of crooked businessmen. Snapping back to reality, Sherry Shin jumped up and yelled, Sharon Xia, you damn beast. How could you come up with such a dirty trick? Not only did you want to take our money, you wanted our lives too. Aaron Yang also scowled and angrily rebuked Sharon Xia. How could you do something like this for money? These are people's lives we're talking about. How do you lie so effortlessly and then turn around to frame Stella Sue? You're truly vicious. Seeing the boy she admired look at her with utter contempt, Sharon Xia could no longer hold back. She collapsed to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Do you think I wanted this? If any of you had a beast like my father, you'd have done the same. My mom was beaten to death by my dad just for giving birth to a daughter. Me. The villagers were too afraid to report it, so they claimed she died of illness. Since childhood, that monster abused me. I barely managed to coax him into letting me attend college, but he forced me to find ways to earn money for him, threatening to stop my education and beat me to death if I refused. Why were you all born into carefree lives, growing up with your parents' love, while I had to tiptoe around him just to survive? Then she turned to me, gritting her teeth. Especially you, Stella Sue. Why were you born a little rich girl, carrying Chanel bags to school? Even the classmates treated you differently because of your wealth. I just can't stand people like you. She thought her outpouring of misery would win everyone's sympathy, but to her surprise, not a single classmate forgave her. None of us are saints. Why should we pay for her jealousy? I looked at her and said coldly, don't make excuses for your wickedness. Some people, no matter how poor their beginnings, always strive toward the light. But your evil is innate, ingrained in your very bones. You claim your father forced you into all this. But you're an adult, a college student. You had countless ways to seek help and stop his crimes. Yet you chose to be an accomplice. You brought this upon yourself. Sharon Xia tried to say more, but Walter Wong, brought over by the police, interrupted. You bitch. If you dare slander me again, I'll kill you right now. You were the one scheming behind all this. How dare you throw mud at me? With that, he lunged forward to attack her. Watching the scene of them turning on each other, like dogs fighting, the police had no choice but to take them away for questioning. The incident of the entire class being poisoned blew up. By the next day, it had climbed to the top of the national trending topics. 1 dead, 7 in severe comas, 39 with mild poisoning, and only 3 unharmed. The National Health Department dispatched a special task force to investigate. Ultimately, Walter Wong was sentenced to death for producing and selling harmful food products. As an accomplice, Sharon Xia was sentenced to 20 years in prison. The school consequently expelled her, unwilling to waste her prime years behind bars. Sharon leaped from the school rooftop the night before her arrest. After achieving my revenge, I applied to the school to change my major. Even though they didn't harm me in this life, they were all accomplices in the last. I'm rather petty and can't bring myself to coexist peacefully with them. Anyway, I won't have any further dealings with these people in the future. What awaits me is a bright future.